Well, has anybody heard my post-match podcast, which sounds like half of the UK? I stand by everything I said. I've watched the game back on 3 separate occasions now, and you try to look at positives within it. And it was very tough. It was a hard watch, and like I said afterwards, I can only talk about how I feel, but I felt incredibly let down. But I also feel we've been incredibly poor for our supporters, the people at this football club. And I think, this week, sort of the reaction I've had from our wonderful supporters, our chairman, and so many people associated both in and out of the football club has been really humbling, because I think people appreciate the level of honesty, and it is about being honest. I was furious with the outcome of the game, rightfully so. If you look at the goals that we've conceded, I don't want to discredit Arlesey, because they were very well organised and they took their moments, and you have to give them credit there. We didn't look like breaking them down, which was even, I was very incredulous with the way that we were in the game, really. It was moments, lapses, but we've become far too easy to play against. And we've come away in the last sort of couple of months really on what our DNA is based on, and that was personified on Saturday in a really disappointing performance. And what really got under my skin is when I watch it back is our attitude to recovery running, our attitude to competing for second balls. We were neat and tidy in patches with the ball. We seem to want to have loads of the ball without doing the ugly bits, and we aren't good enough to do that, and that's the harsh reality, and we have to get back to basics. And the basics are, in football, you run after people, you shut people down, you compete, you put your body where it hurts, you clear balls out your penalty box. They put balls into our box and make us defend. We've had a corner with a few minutes to go when we're trying to chase the game, and we've kicked it straight to their front hole man, and then we're defending the counter-attack. So the 4 goals for me were absolutely criminal. I could go on about that all day long, but like I said, to see us clapped off by our supporters, I'll tell you what, you have to give them credit, every single one of them, because it's not the first time this year that they've clapped us off when we've been really poor, and we were terrible. And like I've said, I don't hide from it. We've got 13 games left of this season, and if anybody thinks that it's beach time, they're living in a different world. We've got 13 games now to go and actually make a fist of the rest of the season. But what we're not going to do is be able to do that unless we change our mindset. We need a huge shift in mindset, because there's a group of players here that have become very entitled. They've become shortcutters, and I'm not happy about that, because this football club produces the best they can for us, the best they can for our players, week in, week out. Our lads get paid on time, every single time, to the absolute penny. The people who are in charge of this football club make sure our club's afforded those opportunities. And we've had too many that have moaned about everything all season. They've moaned about the tracksuit saga. They've moaned about having to go to Peacehaven, by the way, for a coach that cost us well over £1,000 to go and do something nice for our players. They've moaned about the weather. They've moaned about the colour of the shirts. They've moaned about everything. And tonight we've got to stop moaning. We've got 13 games to go. We've absolutely mugged off our supporters on Saturday. We've been disrespectful to the badge, and I keep using that word we. I'm in charge of the football club. That's the reality, and that's my reason now. And I've got to go and do something tonight and something moving forward to make sure that doesn't happen again. But one thing I will assure our supporters, looking into the camera now, is if anybody thinks we're going to see another player stroll back this season, or anybody thinks I'm going to watch players duck out and players not sprint and players just completely go under, that won't happen. And rest assured that will start on Saturday. There's going to be a very different mindset within this group. We are looking obviously at bringing additional players in, but Saturday, unfortunately, hasn't been a one-off this year. Too often, aside in our first season, we would go away and win 1-0 and do relatively well. Our second season, we were hard to beat. We went on a really good run back in the last season. This season, we've lacked that fire, we've lacked that, and it's the same group of people. And it's been disappointing. And that's, unfortunately, our inconsistencies off the field has led to our inconsistencies on the field, because we can't ever pick the same group of players, because we've got 3 or 4 that are never available. They're available one week, they're not available for the next because they've got an injury, they've sneezed, they've chipped a nail, they've got a stag do, they've got a family gathering. There's so many excuses that we've not had for 2 years, and yeah, I'm not going to have it. It's been a long week, and I'm really excited to see my players tonight. I'm really excited to get on the training pitch. and I'm really excited to make sure that we go to Cockfosters on Saturday. I'm absolutely delighted it's going to throw rain down. It's going to be horrible to go. It's going to be windy. It's going to be tough. They're going to have a punch up with us. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's exactly the kind of game we need at the moment, because we need to get back to basics, doing the fundamentals, stop this entitlement, stop the excuses, and we have to be better than we were Saturday. So I can only thank everybody for their messages, and that includes other managers. I thank once again the support we get from the board every single week, and I thank our supporters for continuing to support us, really, because I wouldn't have blamed them if we'd had things thrown at us leaving the field, myself included. So there will be a change, there will be a shift, but I can't thank people enough. I don't take the support we get for granted. I've made no excuses about it. The job that I've done this year, in my opinion, has been poor. Simple as that. I'm not going to hide behind it. But as a collective, we need to do a lot better, starting with me and starting with the rest of them. So looking forward to it, but I was really disappointed Saturday. We were miles off the application and attitude levels that I would expect from this group, and that won't continue any further. So roll on Saturday. So yeah, we are in the process at the moment of contemplating 3 or 4 7-days for players. We need a little bit of a fresh impetus within the group. It's not a threat to our players. I think, to be brutally honest, one of my biggest negatives this year has been sticking with players, helping them, trying to support them. You know, not turning my back on them. As a club, that's what we stand for. You know, one of the big things around mental health is making sure we don't turn our back on people when they're struggling. But we are now towards the end of February, and some of these have had more than enough time, and maybe it's time to evict a few. So we are looking to freshen it up. We are looking to bring good people in, but what I don't want to do is, you know, like I keep using that term, we've suffered with Spartanitis all season. You know, this step 5 mentality, which is we'll do enough to get by, we'll think about football when we turn up on a Thursday, and maybe Saturday have a little bit of pasta and think we're being professional. No, we don't want to bring bad eggs like that in. We've got enough of those to worry about without, you know, bringing any further ones in. So the ones that we're bringing in, we think will give us an injection. But again, it's got to be right. We're at that time of the season now where a lot of clubs are realigning their budgets. They're thinking about they can't go up, they can't go down, and thinking about now preserving their budgets. Our football club, you know, creates a budget, and we're in a position where that budget will be there till April because I spend it like it's my own money. And if we think the right players are coming in to give us a push, we've got 39 points left to play for. That's a lot of points. We're a third of the season still to go. And I'm certainly not thinking about beach season, and until it's mathematically impossible, we carry on fighting, and the ones who are up for the fight will go with us, and the ones who don't simply won't. So at the moment, that's what we're looking for, probably 3 or 4. We've got James Lowder coming back, which is fantastic for us, great character. Cole Knox is coming back as well, and 2 that give us a real lift. Sean Emmanuel is pushing for a start. He brings personality and physicality, so we'll assess him tonight. Obviously we've got Ezra Ford back. Will McClellan's now fully, you know, we think he's fully match fit. He's not hurt. So hopefully, which I've said 1,000 times this year, we can get through a session tonight where nobody, you know, injures or rules himself out or drops a lastminute.com holiday on me at 10 o'clock tonight to say they're unavailable for Saturday. So we're going to a real tough place on Saturday, and we've got to go there. The group, the makeup of the group, the selection will probably show supporters the route we're looking to go for the last 13 games. We've tried to be really pretty last couple of games. We've tried to play through teams. We've tried to play out from the back, and it's been a disaster because you need courage, you need bravery. What you see on a Thursday night when we do loads around that is brilliant. When it comes to the actual match day, like I've said, we're psychologically very weak in that corner, and we have a soft underbelly. So what we have to do now is you have to almost take those decisions away from players. Everybody needs to now be aligned in terms of when the ball's there, that's exactly what's going to happen, which sounds a bit like a dinosaur, but sometimes, you know, needs must. So that's the route we're going to be going, the plan for Saturday. But in terms of squad, we're looking a bit healthier, but there will be some players sitting at home watching Netflix on Saturday afternoon. Like I've warned them for 6 months, it's not come as a surprise to them, but now, like I said, it's about putting the 16 on the pitch that we think give us the best opportunity of winning. Yeah, like I alluded to earlier on in this sort of, you know, YouTube interview, it's a real tough place to go. We know exactly what we're going to expect. I've said it before, I quite like going to these places. It's tough, it's horrible, the pitch is going to be boggy, but they're going to try and stick it on us. And I don't blame them, because looking at us recently, how we've been, that's exactly what I would be doing if I was in their dugout. So we're expecting a real scrap, we're expecting a dogfight. And for 2 years, we've actually been really good at that. But what we have to do now is we have to put big boy pants on. We have to enjoy that side of the game. We can't turn up on Saturday with an entitled attitude that we've got to be turning up at Wembley. We've got to stop that. It's tough. It's a tough place to go. They're on a good run of form as well, and we have to be better. If we turn up anything like we did on Saturday, we'll get spanked. If we turn up like we're capable of doing and show resilience, show guts, everyone plays for each other, we do the hard yards, we get after them, we put them under pressure, you win your first contacts, you pick up second balls, you spin them at the right times, you play at the right time, all the things that we talk about every single week, we give ourselves a great chance of going in to win. So if anybody thinks that the towel has been thrown and we're going to Cockfosters thinking we've got no chance, think again. We go there with the sole aim of winning 3 points. We're not going there for a point, we're going there for 3 points on Saturday. But if we're not at our best, they've got capabilities to really hurt you. They were very unfortunate not to get a point the other week against Real Bedford. I think they've come close with the last kick of the game to have made it a 3-3. So we're well aware of what we're likely to face. And like I said, we have to do the basics well first and foremost. We went there last season, I thought we were tactically brilliant. And I thought the players, the way we applied ourselves on a difficult game was outstanding, one of our best performances of the season. So we're going to have to go some and some again if we want to come away with 3 very much needed points on Saturday. Yeah, so they don't get much easier, unfortunately. We go from Cockfosters on Saturday to then going to MK Irish on Tuesday night, and they gave Winslow a good hiding in the cup competition the other day. And obviously went over to watch them, and they were emphatic. And MK Irish have got that in them. It's not the first time they've given a team a good hiding this year. And to be honest with you, in the FA Cup game that we played them, we were lucky we weren't on the receiving end of a proper beating. I think on the day we were very, very fortunate. They missed a few chances, the keeper made some very, very good saves. So we're going to have to be at it. What we do know is going forward they possess goals from everywhere. The system they play is quite a challenging system. It's quite difficult to sort of play against. But what we have to do, keep going back to, is we have to nullify their strengths and impose our strengths on their weaknesses. And like every team at this level, every team's got a weakness. But what we do know is you have to get the fundamentals right, because they will run after you, they will work together, they are tenacious in what they do, and then they've got quality, especially in the wide areas, and Mason Spence down the middle. They're really good players for the level. And but like I said, it's 3 points up for grabs. If we're serious about not letting this season peter out, we've got to go there with the confidence to go and win. But we're not going to go there and win if we're anything like we were last Saturday. We have to be closer to how we've been for 2 years prior, and I've said it God knows how many times in this interview. So Tuesday's going to be a tough one. Terry Streeves has done an unbelievable job there. If they win their games in hand, they overtake Real Bedford. So they'll be keen, they'll turn up, they'll be hungry. So Tuesday night, I just hope the lads have a nice journey. We're not going to, it's not easy on a Tuesday night off the back of a hard day's work. But yeah, we absolutely no doubt will be followed and backed rightly or wrongly, I don't know, by our supporters on Tuesday, and we need to give them something to think of, something to cheer about on Saturday, something to cheer about on Tuesday. And then the last running, I think we've got 9 home games left. I think there's 6 in the last 7 games we play at home, and our home form's generally decent. Obviously the 2 we've lost, outside of Real Bedford this year, have been to FC Romania and Biggleswade United, both when we've been down to 10 men. So we need to give ourselves something to go into the last portion of the season and make sure, most importantly, that we find a way to win. But it's going to be tough, and hopefully when I'm stood here this time next Thursday, we've had 2 games of football and 6 points. Anything less for that will be a disappointment for me. So thanks again for your support. Look forward to seeing those that travel on Saturday. Have a safe journey across, and look forward to seeing you all there.